With the shift from a semi-feudal peasant society to a socialist state built for workers and peasants, it was only natural that labour and the working class became central to the state's agenda. Despite pre-revolutionary Ethiopia being amongst the most underdeveloped African nations, and with a population largely dependent on subsistence farming, the Derg arose out of the ruins of the semi-feudal state, building socialism from scratch, utilising the planned economy, land reforms and later the 5-year plan. This gave Ethiopians exceptional workplace rights and paved the way for workers' cooperatives. The right to work was guaranteed after the 1975 Labour Proclamation. In a speech given on the 4th anniversary of the Ethiopian Revolution, Comrade Haile-Mariam spoke in the importance of the total liberation of the working class. Quote, "Our hope for final victory rests in the liberation of the toiling masses from oppression and exploitation and their conscious desire to work." End quote. Gone were the days of exploitative practices in workers and peasants. Ethiopians saw work as a patriotic duty and a chance to construct socialism within the nation. This is in large contrast to capitalist nations, where low-paying jobs and a high cost of living make it an absolute necessity to work, often long hours and overtime, just to have food on the table, a roof over our heads and little remaining money. 80% of Ethiopians worked in agriculture and food processing, with the majority managing these farms being the workers themselves through membership of the Peasants Association. They functioned as the heart of the community and hubs of social life. In the PDRE, the standard working day lasted 8 hours, making work a central and important part of people's daily lives. Local COPWE committees established some free childcare facilities in urban areas to enable both men and women to participate fully in the workforce, reflecting the socialist government's commitment to gender equality. Schools also played a crucial and positive role in this effort, providing structured environments where children could learn and be cared for during the working day. However, these childcare and educational initiatives were largely confined to cities and industrial centres. In rural areas where most of the population lived, families, especially women, continued to balance childcare responsibilities with agricultural labour, often without formal support. This is something we must criticise. As communists and Marxist-Leninists, we must take from the mistakes of past countries and apply it to the future. Workers in socialist Ethiopia had access to free or low-cost healthcare, with hospitals in every major city and clinics covering around 40% of rural areas. The 1975 Labour Proclamation guaranteed paid sick leave, offering full pay for the first month of illness, half pay for up to 2 additional months, and possible unpaid leave afterward, all while ensuring workers could not lose their jobs due to illness beyond their control. The state actively promoted leisure and physical fitness as part of its commitment to building a strong, healthy society rooted in socialist values. Sport and leisure facilities were often provided free of charge, with no paywalls as seen under capitalism. Reflecting the PDRE's focus on fostering a healthy population, workplaces frequently featured gyms, swimming pools or sports fields, and larger factories often had their own sports teams. These measures made workplaces not just centres of labour, but also vibrant hubs of socialisation and community life. Through workers' recreation centres, youth camps and organised sports programmes, mostly free or heavily subsidised, especially for workers and students, the government encouraged participation in activities that fostered discipline, teamwork and community spirit. While urban workers and youth often embraced these opportunities, rural populations faced greater challenges due to limited access. Young adults also had the opportunity to gain crucial work experience and education before leaving school or university through the Zemecha, Development Through Cooperation campaign. The campaign started in 1974 and continued until 1976. Here, over 48,000 dedicated students and teachers left the comfort of their classrooms in cities to live and work alongside Ethiopia's rural poor. They built schools, dug wells, taught literacy and arithmetic, and helped bring life-saving clinics to the countryside. These youth worked tirelessly to uplift their fellow citizens and advance land reform. Under the leadership of Comrade Mengistu Haile-Mariam, who himself taught literacy classes, the Zemecha movement inspired a whole generation to serve their country selflessly, where the ideals of Marxism-Leninism transformed Ethiopia's villages into centres of learning and progress. The socialist state also provided affordable access to holiday resorts and recreation areas, while the People's Democratic Republic of Ethiopia heavily restricted foreign travel, a common grievance among some Ethiopians. Urban workers and civil servants could take advantage of low-cost state-owned resorts within the country. Holiday homes and leisure centres, especially in areas like the hot springs of Sudea, the crater lakes of Bishoftu and the beaches of Lake Lungano, were nationalised and made accessible at affordable prices. These resorts, originally built for tourists and the elite, were transformed into popular staycation destinations where ordinary workers and their families could relax and enjoy their free time without financial hardship. Though not every worker had the means or time to take extended holidays, these short, affordable getaways offered moments of comfort and relaxation within a socialist framework that prioritised public welfare over private luxury. Today, Ethiopians enjoy the legal freedom to travel internationally, but economic hardship means that for many this freedom exists only in theory. Limited financial means often confine ordinary Ethiopians to their own country, making global travel an opportunity reserved for the wealthy few. In short, the socialist environment built around the Ethiopian workplace offers a glimpse of a kind of labour that is neither alienating nor exploitative. Unlike what is often seen under capitalism, instead it represents work as a liberating force, centred on human dignity and the well-being of the worker, not driven by profit. Workers also played an active role in the defence of socialism through the People's Militia, a mass volunteer force made up of ordinary Ethiopians. Industrial workers, civil servants and farmers were mobilised through their workplaces and trade unions to take up arms alongside the regular army. Far from being passive labourers, these workers underwent basic military training, learned defensive tactics and defended their factories, neighbourhoods and agricultural collectives against both internal counter-revolutionary forces and foreign aggression. By the late 1980s, the People's Militia numbered in the hundreds of thousands, often surpassing the size of the regular armed forces, and stood as a powerful symbol of the working class directly participating in the defence of the socialist revolution. The People's Militia demonstrates to socialists today how the role of worker and soldier can be united, creating a powerful force in defending the gains of socialism. Democracy didn't stop at the workplace gates in the PDRE, in fact it thrived. Workers enjoyed the dignity and power to stand up for their rights, a freedom that many in the West living under fear of their employers often lack. Workers were more than just labourers, they were active participants in the country's economic planning and workplace governance. The process of developing the 5-year plan involved workers directly, as the state would present draft plans to factories, farms and workplaces, where employees and their cabals engaged in open discussions. These discussions allowed workers to assess what was realistically achievable based on their own productivity and experience. Suggestions and amendments were then sent back to the Planning Commission, which incorporated this valuable feedback before finalising the plans. This approach ensured that economic goals were not merely imposed from above, but reflected the realities on the ground, empowering workers to contribute to national development. The All-Ethiopian Trade Union, while operating within the framework of the socialist state, played a crucial role in protecting workers' rights, promoting health and safety, and enhancing workplace conditions. It organised workplace meetings and acted as a bridge between employees and the government, helping to address concerns and resolve issues efficiently. Beyond advocacy, the union was instrumental in running social programmes, including sports teams, leisure activities and holiday resorts, creating a vibrant community life around workplaces. Moreover, the PDRE encouraged worker involvement and oversight through local cabal committees that monitored the conduct of managers and adherence to labour standards. These committees, often composed of workers and community members, could report misconduct and push for disciplinary action against those who undermined workplace fairness or safety. This system fostered a culture of accountability and collective responsibility, where workers felt a genuine stake in the success of their enterprises and the broader socialist project. Together, these structures and practices helped build a workplace environment in socialist Ethiopia that emphasised dignity, participation and solidarity. Workers were not mere cogs in a machine, but active agents shaping the labour conditions and contributing to the nation's progress within a framework that prioritised social welfare over individual profit. The People's Democratic Republic of Ethiopia offers us a powerful example of what work can be under a true socialist society. One where workers are united, not isolated, where cooperation replaces competition, and where the workplace becomes a place of community and growth. In the PDRE, workers had dignity, security, and a voice in shaping their futures, with access to social programmes, leisure, and support that prioritise people over profit. At a time when many around the world face insecurity and inequality, the PDRE reminds us that another world is possible, a society where work empowers the many, not the few. Hi comrades, I thought I would just jump in at the end here and make a few quick announcements before I end the video. First off, I'm absolutely delighted to have been invited to speak at the Young Communist League's Harry Pollit School 2025, which will be held in Manchester on the 19th and 20th of July. I'll leave a link below if anyone wants to grab tickets, but I would highly recommend that you do so. Secondly, I'm excited to announce a new series launching soon that will run alongside this one. It will focus on unfinished revolutions, movements that are still ongoing and kind of past revolutionary movements. Thank you very much for tuning in, comrades.